match. And I have to pause and stream by a lot. He's way ahead, so I will try to synchronize them. And here we go. Lunczer on the left, number 7 of the world ranking list. Burbank on the right, number 2. Both will go for the mushroom cut and both get it cleanly. So that's the most difficult spot on this whole track, but it's quite technical with sharp turns where you can cut over the grass with a mushroom, as you saw. So that's the biggest time gain. And Burbank is in the lead by 28 hundredths after the first lap. Both get the mushroom cut very well again. But Dans looked very clean, so he will definitely not lose anything on Lunczer. He's the world record holder on this track, so he feels quite comfortable and extends his lead by 17 hundredths, so 0.5 approximately now. And yeah, that one looked very smooth, very clean again. So he looks very strong to finish the first track. So Dan wins with a 1:28.07, Lunczer 1:28.99. So that's 1-0 for Dan, and he has the next pick. And the next track will be Warrior Stadium. Warrior Stadium, also a track where Dan is very strong and has held the world record until recently. I was the one who beat him, by the way, but let's focus on the match. Dan Burbank currently has a 4-1 record in the league. I have to synchronize those two. So Dan with a fun 4-1 record in the league currently. Only one defeat. And Lunczer is at 3-2, 3 wins, 2 losses. Okay, Shroom Spot is coming up here. Both do it a bit safe, but still in a good line. And it's a very close race, you can see. Both going for the same lines, same mini turbos. Lunczer with a very tight approach there, very risky. But understandably he has to risk a bit more to level this matchup and try to beat Dan on one of his favorite tracks, I would say. So we approach the finish line for the first split. It's very close between these two. Dan is up by 29 hundredths, so the streams are not exactly synchronized, but they are close enough. Lunczer hit the wall there a bit, just a tiny mistake. This track is very technical though, so you can lose a lot of time if you mess up a slide, especially on these hill combinations. Lunczer very aggressive on the shroom. He must have gained a bit, but Dans wasn't that shabby either. I think Lunczer got that MT when he crashed into the wall with the back of the kart. Oh, now he snakes a bit around. It's hard for me to hear if Lunczer misses an MT because I have no game audio sound. Now he snagged the wall a couple of times and definitely fell back. Still quite small margins, but on this high level Dan has a quite big of a lead, a good advantage, and Lunczer hit the wall again on the last U-turn. So going to the last lap, yeah, it's almost a full second now. Still possible to lose this race, but Lunczer would need a big mistake from Dan. Probably a tumble. Oh, and Lunczer slowed down very much there. You can hit the walls in many ways, but what you don't like to have here is to snag the wall and slow down heavily. Sometimes they can really stop you. He had a good shroom, but Dance was also good. Almost equally fast, I would say. Dan looking really comfortable, going tight around the wall. And Dan takes the second track with a 4:22.60. Lunczer 4:24.38. So 2-0 for Dan. 60. Lunczer 4:24.38. I think I got an echo from Dan, so we have to fix that. So 2-0 for Dan. 60. Lunczer 4:24.38. I think I got an echo from Dan, so we have to fix that. Okay, hopefully he fixed it. So I will just talk to test this. So 2-0 for Dan. 60. Lunczer 4:24.38. Sounds good now, I think. Yeah, we fixed the problem and we are ready for the third track. Lunczer picked Koopa Troopa Beach. This track has one major spot where you can lose very much time, which is the tunnel entrance Both players will try to go up the ramp there, which is completely allowed in non-shortcut. It's an intended way. Okay, here we go. Dan missed an MT there, small mistake. Costs about a tenth or sometimes 1500s. Both do the MT, the slide into the tunnel. So optimal strat, and both got it cleanly. Very close, only 0.03 in it, in Dan's favor currently. So the race is still looking almost completely in sync. Lunczer had to adjust his line there just a bit. I couldn't see if Lunczer got the MT, but his tunnel entrance was not that clean. And he messes up another slide. He shrooms there. I don't know if that was on purpose. So he's close to Dan now, but he doesn't have a shroom anymore. Maybe he used it because he slowed down there. It was very hard in the water to build another slide. And there's another mistake, so Dan in a good lead now. Oh my goodness, no, that's so unfortunate. I also had that happen in one of my matches. It's just bad programming. Dan fell down there in the tunnel. I just can't say bad luck. There are some polygons, bad programmed there. Oh man, that hurts. So Lunczer actually takes this. There was the only thing maybe which could save him. So it's 2-1. Okay, the next track will be Royal Raceway, picked by Dan. So we've seen that a couple of times, that people, me included, fall through the tunnel there. You can avoid it by taking a less riskier but also slower line to the left. But that's very unfortunate. Okay, Royal Raceway now. Almost 3 minutes long and quite basic, but this spot here, oh, Dan took it really tight. It's a crucial one to save time and to risk. It's risk and reward. And the second main one comes up now with the shroom spot. Yeah, Dan had to adjust a bit to make sure he enters the ramp. Interestingly, Lunczer does left-facing straight stretch mini turbos here on the ramp. Coming out of a right turn, it's usual to do the other direction, but it works as well. And the race is very close. Dan leads by 0.08, which is almost nothing. Lunczer with a good U-turn, I would say here, good grass cut. He missed an MT afterwards. Dan's was not as clean if I saw it right. he's... Oh, he was slightly in the lead, but now he hit the wall on the shroom. And he used another shroom as backup to speed up. So they are very, very close now. But of course Dan has already spent his third shroom, so Lunczer has a big advantage now. That's a very costly and big mistake on this track, because it doesn't have that many challenging corners. He is 1100ths in the lead now, Dan. But Lunczer, if he is aware, or if he just simply stays in a good range closely behind, he's the favorite to win this track. The shroom spot is very important, and Dan has to go around now, or maybe do some MTs into the grass. Yeah, he empties into the grass, but it's much slower there. So Lunczer in a commanding position now, very far ahead compared to the previous 2 laps. Yeah, Lunczer takes this one, and that's the equalizer, 2-2. Exactly 1 second apart. I'm waiting for the next pick. And we have the first Joker pick. Both players are only allowed to once per match call a Joker and use shortcuts on a track, and they are allowed to pick any. And Lunczer picked Royal Raceway again, this time with shortcuts allowed. Alright, very interesting choice. You must know that Lunczer is a very high-ranked shortcut player. He's definitely in the top 10. I think he's at 6th in the world. And Burbank then is not as comfortable with the shortcuts. So, on paper, Lunczer is the favorite. But Dan definitely knows how to do this shortcut. He uses the shroom, the safer method to do it. Lunczer went without a shroom, got a good MT boost and did it as well. He also had a good tumble, he didn't lose any time doing it shroomless. And now he will probably spend the shroom he has saved on the last turn. Goes a bit down here to the lake. And yep, has about half a second lead. 5500s. So if he continues to do this strat successfully, then he has a big advantage to win. Same again, Dan has to use a shroom, he's not comfortable enough doing the shortcut shroomless, sorry. It's still close. But now we will see Lunczer again on the last turn. Going into the grass. He takes it quite safe. But he still extended his lead by 1700ths. Not as much as on the first lap, but still. He's in a good position now. Yeah, he does it again, and Dan tries shroomless, he gets it. Maybe he knows that he has to risk, but Lunczer got it as well, so the bounce looked similar. I think Lunczer didn't lose much time, if any, and he's in a very good position now to go in front. The whole set, both go risky in the end. Yeah, Dan took all the risk. He had to. And tumbled down. Oh, right before the finish line, he actually gets placed behind. I think there was a 2:14:41. Yeah, 2:14:41. And 2:06:47. He reset his cartridge not to save the time, because he uses a non-shortcut cartridge. And Burbank chooses Toad's Turnpike next. So Dan was 2-0 in the lead, but now it's set point for Lunczer. Alright, here we go. Toad's Turnpike, non-shortcut. A must-win track for Dan to stay in the set, which he started very strong, but now fell behind. Alright, Lunczer already spends a shroom, and he is still behind by 0.28, so Dan had a much cleaner first lap. The shrooms inside the bus, sorry. That's a very common shroom spot, because it's awkward to do an MT there. And struggles just a bit to get these SSMTs without hitting the fence. Both elect to use a shroom here. So both have spent 2 shrooms now. And Dan extends his lead a bit, going to the final lap. Oh, Lunczer struggles, has to jump into another slide here. Toad's Turnpike has a basic, quite simple layout, so these mistakes can cost a lot more than on complex tracks. But the traffic is worst on the final stretch here on lap 3, so Dan has still has to manage good dodging and very precise driving. He comes up now around these trucks and has to squeeze through there. Another time makes it, and one more time. That's the toughest gap maybe at that pace, but he does it and gets a sub 3 minutes, round 2:59.27. I think I got the times right. Alright, the final track for the first set at 3-3 will be Yoshi Valley. So it's a brave pick by Lunczer, but I think it's a reasonable one because he's strong. I remember he won this track against me in a match, and it's a very complicated one. I will synchronize them now as good as I can. Alright, first lap is the easiest one, but still tricky to squeeze through here. Both did it very well. Ooh, Lunczer very close to not make that jump there. He clipped the fence a bit and slowed down. And going to the second lap, Dan leads by 0.3 of a second. Of course, they take the fastest path again. Oh, both spin out! Dan goes to the left, and Lunczer got stuck there. Very awkward. During that turn, you can get stuck there and come to a complete stop. And that's exactly what happened to Lunczer. So you have to avoid that. So Dan has a very big lead now, but left 3 spinies after one hit. Not easy to dodge, and he hits one. Lunczer takes the safe path. Now that Dan has fallen off, it is a good call. It's a good strat. But surely he could not have won that without Dan falling off. The spiny hit would have made it very close. But this way, it gives him the set. It was a smart play in a way. So Lunczer, the underdog, takes the first set with a 150-23. So well played by Lunczer the entire set to take it off Dan. And Lunczer takes the first set, Dan has the choice and chooses Sherbetland next. Forgive me please, it's past midnight for me, but I'm doing my best. So it's Dan's pick because he lost the previous set. And second set starts with Sherbetland. Also a very tricky one for one tries because of the penguins and crack jumps at this level. It's about the right strategy to risk, but not risk enough too much. So just the right amount. Both managed to go on the inside of the penguins in the cave. And Dan goes into the second lap with 0.3 of a lead. Oh, Lunczer hit the wall there on the shroom. That's costly. Dan very risky on the crack jump. Shaves off another half a second. Or rather, he builds up onto his lead. He was already in the lead, so he's looking good now. But the third lap cave is a challenge, especially on the one try. You don't know the exact position all the time. Yeah, both go between Penguin and Pillar, but Dan got it cleanly. So there's one more turn. He goes for it risky, but he makes it and takes this track. 156.39. Alright, so Dan recovered from that tough loss. 1-0 in the lead. And next track is Moo Moo Farm. Hello to the chat. I'm very busy, so I can only glance there shortly during the match. Alright, I think both will go around the malls here. Yeah, that's a very common strat for one try. It's too risky and too little reward. And now we will see what they come up with. Both go on the inside there. Yep, take the same line. I think Lunczer shroomed a little later. And Dan has 0.09 of a lead, very small margins. Lunczer stays close. No mistakes that I spotted. Oh, Dan went very close to him all there, but both go around. And Dan has extended his lead a bit, 0.32 now in total. I think both missed an MT on the way to the malls. Both come through there. Dan's still in the lead. It is close though. But Dan takes it by 2100s in the end. So that's 2-0 in this set for Dan. Good race, both with low 128s. And next track will be Banshee Boardwalk. Yeah, this one try matches, I just read the chat a bit, can be very... Oh, that's... I think a synchronized start. I don't have to do anything here. That's good. It's about strategy. If you're aware of your opponent's mistake, that plays a big role. So if you have the stream up and glance a bit, it can be an advantage. Especially during a race with multiple strategies, which are possible. And that Yoshi Valley finish, for example, was very interesting, the last lap. I wonder if Lunczer knew about the situation in the race. He could have lost that one, but he took the safe line and then made a mistake. On this lap, on this race he didn't, and he's in the lead by 0.24. I think Lunczer missed one MT on the first lap. Couldn't see anything else. It's a bit harder without the audio. Very clean shroom from Dan. Lunczer hit the fence in the end. So Dan extended his lead probably, but not by much. Dan missed an MT now. Does the extra MT over the line, but has lost almost everything of his lead. I think 700s is his advantage now. He does an extra MT there, squeezed it in. So that worked out in his favor. He has the much cleaner shroom. Lunczer had some awkward bounces there before he could actually fire it. So Dan is looking good now, but it's still close. Yeah, Lunczer tried to risk, hit the fence again, then very clean 205, 39, that's a strong one. And Lunczer with 206.15. So Dan with a comfortable 3-0 lead now. And on his set point he has to play Choco Mountain, picked by Lunczer. Yeah, Paddy, I think on Benchy Boardwalk, Dan got that MT when he hit the fence with the back of the kart. I had the audio from Dan, so it sounded like he got that MT. It was very close, but he managed to get it. Very nice. Players reacted well on my countdown, so I don't have to do anything for this one. So Dan 3-0. And Lunczer already snagged the wall with the back of his kart, got slowed down heavily there. This is another track where it's quite common to see that. If you go close to these rocks. I think Dan must have done a mistake, I missed it. Focus a bit more on the player without audio. I just heard that something must have happened. So only 600s difference. Lunczer shroomed in a different spot on lap 1. On lap 2 now they chose the same spot. And it looks like Lunczer took the lead. Very clean, tight lines. But Dan gets good hills, Lunczer didn't, but he still took the lead. Both go a bit wide there. Dan missed an MT, I think, before the hill. So Lunczer's looking quite good now. He's definitely in the lead. Last turn coming up with the hills. I think it's good enough. Even with those bad hills, he should win it. Yes, he does. So good pick from Lunczer. He saves the set point, the first one. It's 3-1 in Dan's favor though. Still a good position. And Dan picks Mario Raceway. We already had that, but Lunczer must have picked it. Alright, I just got confirmation that they follow the rules, and we start shortly. Because Lunczer was not allowed to pick it in set 2, but Dan is. He still has this track in his pool, so he could choose one of his favorites. Interesting to see that both like to choose this one. Alright, perfectly synchronized. Lunczer already behind. Did he hit that first wall? Then with a cleaner mushroom cut. So yeah, 8600s, that's quite much on this level. And very clean so far. Very good. Both actually very well done on the mushroom cut. They got a little bounce off that big mushroom, but that's the optimal way to do it. If you jump really late there, get a sharper turn off it. 39. Very nice by Dan, extends his lead. He's over 1 second, over a full second ahead now. Gets through cleanly. Oh, he went on the grass a bit, but he can afford that with such a big lead. No problem as long as he gets around here with the shroom. So Dan takes the second set. We have an even match right now. So it's 1-1. And Lunczer will start a third set with Bowser's Castle. Interesting pick, I like it. Bowser's Castle usually stands for highly entertaining matches. And we have a short bathroom break. So a very interesting match so far. Lunczer really took his opportunities in the first set, whenever he got one. And now Dan really stepped up his game and had good choices. So he convincingly and deserved this one. Alright. Players are ready again, and Bowser's Castle is about to open the third set. If you are not familiar with the basic rules, players have to win 3 sets to get the match. So it's still quite a long way for both. Yeah, both passed the first Thwomp row. Looking good so far. Now the stairs empty. Very technical one. Then does an additional empty on the bridge, I think. Gets a nice angle of the inside wall, which puts him just a bit in the lead. Is very aggressive here on the last turn. And enters lap 2 0.45 ahead of Lunczer. Both come through cleanly here. The flying Thwomps, by the way, are very awkward because usually we have a ghost set up to distract them, but ghosts are not allowed here. So they have to dodge them, and you don't always know where they will come down, how far into your direction. So that's an extra challenge here on Bowser's Castle in a one try. Dan looking very strong here again on the last turn. He takes it more aggressively. The laps were close, but he extends his lead by 0.18. Lunczer had to go a bit further around the Thwomp. Dan had a good pace and went underneath the left one. Lunczer left out the stairs empty here, while Dan succeeded to do it, which gives him even more of an advantage, and it's definitely his race to lose now. And there's not much he can do wrong here. Maybe jump in the lava, but of course he won't do it. He's strong. And he gets a 2:13.59. That's an awesome time. Very strong. That would have been around the world record years ago. Alright, we are already going back to Mario Raceway. Players' pools were reset after 2 sets, so now that we're in the third, they can choose whatever they want. And it's Mario Raceway once again for the 3rd time already. Alright. Once again, you know what it's all about here, the mushroom cut. Oh, damn! He hits the piranha plant, and that threw him far to the right. So the worst possible scenario what could happen. He went very aggressive there, but he usually gets through. You have to time your jump optimally to jump over it. It has a very low hit detection, so it always looks like you jumped through. But he mistimed that jump a bit. Lunczer hit the wall, I think, but it's only a small time loss. And then hits the plant again. That's very surprising to see. I think in frustration he made the same mistake again, mistimed the jump, probably. And of course Lunczer just has to finish this run now. He has a huge lead. Now Dan comes through cleanly. Maybe good for his mental state, but it doesn't matter for the race. Lunczer takes it. And Dan cruises next to the pipe. It shows some sections you normally don't see. So that's the equalizer for the third set, 1-1 in sets and 1-1 in tracks. Okay, we move on to Koopa Troopa Beach once again. I think Lunczer had good memories here, because Dan fell into the water very unfortunately last time they played. And yeah, wow, Dan lost to Mario, the course ghost. I didn't pay attention to that, but it was all about the race with Lunczer, of course. So he gave up at the end of lap 3. Anyway, new race on Koopa Troopa Beach. Let's see if both make the tunnel MT, the tunnel jump this time. I mean, actually Dan got it 3 times, he didn't play bad, it was just bad luck. Lunczer very close to the left edge, but he came in. And Dan with 0.12 of a lead. Both got it again. Also with the MT in the tunnel. So it's still very close. Dan slightly in the lead, I would say. Yeah, again 1200s added, so 24 in the lead. I won't say anything about the tunnel, not to summon the commentator's curse. Yeah, both get it this time. Clean shroom from Dan, which will give him the victory here. Yeah, he wins. And with that he goes up 2-1 in the match. Sorry, in the set. He also is leading in the match now. And next track will be Royal Raceway again. We have seen a variety of tracks, but can definitely see some favorites appearing again. We also had this once with shortcuts, but it's already the second time with normal driving now. Both with a good grass cut here, I would say. Streams maybe not completely in sync. Lunczer again with the left facing slides. He must feel more comfortable with them, but he didn't get them cleanly. He hit the fence a couple of times and didn't have the straightest line. But yeah, Dan only leads by 200. Lunczer struggled to get the smoke charged here. I couldn't hear, of course, if he got the MT in the end. I would say he did, because it's still very close. One missed MT would be a noticeable difference. Yeah, they are completely even. Dead even, that's what I learned last time. Lunczer held that slide around the left turn a bit longer, so I think he just fell slightly behind. Yeah, so it is. It's about 0.4 now of a difference, and Lunczer went into the grass there a bit. So Dan now more than half a second in the lead. Got a very nice jump there around the turn. Had the perfect timing to jump off with much air. That's what you want to have there. Instead Lunczer this time hit the wall on the shroom. I was just about to say Dan got cleanly through. So this one belongs to Dan, of course. Very strong time. So he is 3-1 up now. And we go back to Yoshi Valley. Good memories for Lunczer, of course. So I can totally understand that decision. It's not at 3-3 this time. But Dan has a set point and less pressure. He could afford to lose it. Oh, Lunczer struggles to get the slide. Has to jump into the next one. I mean, he struggled to go around the fence there. So it was a good decision from him. And with the short grass snag there again, but overall he had the better opener at 0.44. Oh, Dan hits a spiny and Lunczer comes through cleanly, going very tight between the spinies there. So great play by him. Very brave not to go straight or slow down there a bit. He stayed very aggressive and has a comfortable lead going to the last lap, but nothing's over yet. Oh, he hits a spiny. And Dan goes around cleanly, so now it's very close again, I would say. Dan slightly in the lead. Yes, he's in the lead. It was too costly for Lunczer. So he turned around this time. One spiny hit for both, but Dan had the better race and wins it. Much closer in the end because he slowed down on the fence right before the finish line, but he took it. Maybe he didn't see it coming, but it doesn't matter, he takes this set. Four tracks to one, and is now one set up and one set away from the match. And we will start the fourth set with Donkey Kong's Jungle Parkway. Interesting pick from Lunczer. Dan is very good on this track, but it's one, if not the most complicated in a one try. You have the slopey ground all the time, but most of all you have the ramp jump and the cave. And if that's not enough already, you have the coconuts, the stones, however you like to call them, which will hit you just like it happened to Dan on the grass. But Lunczer, wow, that's a rare mistake. And Dan fell into the water. What's going on here? What a lap one. I wouldn't expect to see this in top division, but of course both players have to risk. Both players know of the strengths of their opponent. So, Lunczer, let's do it. Oh wow, what happens here? I watched Luntzer's screen, so I didn't catch what Dan did. He must have got stuck there on the wall. So what actually happened? Hard to catch up. Lunczer risked too much on the approach, on the ramp. Wow, meanwhile Dan fell down in the cave and he decided to quit the race. He gave up. So yeah, I don't have to tell much about their mistakes. You saw them. That's what can happen to everyone here on this track. And sometimes it can be really going downhill if you do one big mistake. Your concentration is off, so Lunczer just has to finish. So for those who are not that familiar with the track, I will once again tell what happened. Lunczer went too risky on the approach on the first lap. Oh, that's a close one. He misses it, but it doesn't matter. He has already won. He just has to finish. He gets put on the other side though, so I can't catch up with the history of this race. Short summary, he went too far right and missed the ramp, and then shortly afterwards fell into the river because he went too far left on the jump. He was too risky there. So Lunczer takes this one with a 2:30.17. What a winning time. And Dan gets a 9:59.99 for quitting this race. Okay, we move on to Banshee Boardwalk now. Well, major delay in stream. So now they're synced up again. Dan missed this MT. I don't know if Lunczer got it. They are very close. I assume both missed the same one. Anyway, both with nice shrooms. This is very close. Yeah, 0.01, the smallest difference. As always, as last time, Dan does the extra MT on the short straight, while Lunczer leaves that one out. Ooh, he came very close to the left edge, almost falling off the track. Dan does some extra hops to adjust his line. So Lunczer with less risk, but very clean one. So 1/10 gained. He must be 0.09 ahead now. Dan missed an MT, I think. At least it sounded like he did. There can be rare sound glitches. So sometimes you don't get the noise. Oh, it's anybody's race. Really close now. The whole race was very, very close. And on very high level, so I can't predict who will win this one. It is Dan by 1700s. Wow, great race. So 1-1 in this fourth set. Next track is Fraps Snowland, a new one, we haven't played that. Big difference here. So I had to synchronize them. But now I think we are quite close. Dan gets the better shroom, which is the trickiest spot of the whole race here. Lunczer went a bit further left, had to go around all the snowmen. So Dan with the optimal line. With a very strong opener. That's super fast. 0.59 lead. But But anything can happen here on the shroom spot. You go very close to out of bounds ground. So you can get stuck there, or you can hit a snowman, you can skid off the mountain. Lunczer again, landing very far to the left. He had to adjust and lost more time. Dan again with a very strong split. He's ahead by more than a second now. Last shroom spot coming up. Dan had a bit of luck there, not to slow down more, because he touched the mountain on the way down. But it didn't cost him much, so he finishes in a very strong time, 2:01.18. And with that, he leads 2-1 in this fourth set now. We move on to Toad's Turnpike. Dan is now 2 tracks, 2 wins away from getting the entire match. And he picked Toad's Turnpike. So on Toad's Turnpike once again, the layout is very simple and you have to come close to the guardrail with all your MTs on the turn and try to go as straight with your SSMTs here as you can. The slope, the uphill and downhill parts can make it quite awkward to get the straight line there. Dan missed an MT, but overall I think he had the cleaner lap. Lunczer repeatedly goes into the fence a bit, then leads by 0.48. Now the shroom again from Dan. He gets through cleanly, very nice. Again, you can see that Lunczer prefers left-facing SMTs, while Dan did the right-facing ones, and both shroom here, like they did the last time on the last Toad's Turnpike race. But Lunczer shrooms again here. I mean, many turns are quite equal in terms of how much you gain through a shroom by using the shroom. And then about 1 second ahead now, both have used all of their shrooms. Lunczer struggles again a bit, goes very far to the left. That's the bad outcome if you don't maintain a straight line, and if you do left facing ones here, because the next turn goes to the right. And he hits a car, but was already Dan's win, because he comes through cleanly and gets a nice 259. So with this win, it's 3-1 and Dan is one track away from the match. Alright, Choco Mountain again. I can't remember exactly who won it last time, but it was definitely a close race. So I hope for another close one now. Alright, Dan uses his shroom around this turn. Lunczer keeps it. There's an equal shroom spot further into the lap. After the fence they will go around. Lunczer looks good though. He's very close behind and still has used no shroom. So he should use it after this turn now. Yes, he does. And usually both will shroom after the finish line now, where they had the start boost. Dan still 0.13 in the lead. So streams must be not completely synchronized. And Dan adds a bit on his lead. About 0.3 I think in the lead now, which is not much, and both did a mistake in the tunnel. I would say Dan is slightly in the lead, but it comes down to the last few turns. Oh, Lunczer hits the fence a bit. And it comes down to the last straight. Who gets the better hills? Lunczer got better hills, but I think Dan still has it. Yes. He wins by 1800s. $157.30 to 157.48. So that's the match with 4-1. Dan wins the third set. I think Dan already cut his stream, very short. Yeah, he already cut the stream, but anyway. So congrats to Dan for his win. Very tough, very close first set, but he came back from it to win 3-1 in total. And I will do a short outro now to give you the info. We have another match of the Mario Kart 64 One Rally coming up tonight, actually with Dan on commentary. He volunteered to commentate Bisso 20 against Lewis, the Division 3 match, and that will start at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So now I have to do the math. It should be in less than an hour. It should be about 3/4 of an hour from now. They will start their match, and it will be on Speed Gaming 3. So stay tuned on the same channel if you like to watch more. It won't be the same top level, but it can be highly entertaining as well. We had very close matches in this division, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm Matthias, aka MK64 Emma, and wish you a good evening. Join us again next time, and bye for now.